Hello, it's Aggie Joe once again. What's up? How's everyone doing tonight? The four people that watch my videos. Oh, hopefully your day is going well. Whatever have you. Hopefully things have been going well for you. But we're gonna transition to stuff that hasn't been going well for some people, and we're gonna be talking about special person, special guest of the channel for the past week, P Diddy. So P Diddy has been in a lot of fire recently because there's been a lot of speculation that a lot of his celebrity friends have been laying low because the connection to him and them knowing about the parties or having attended just really puts a damper on the situation because I think the attorney general said themselves that this is not the end of it doesn't end with P Diddy. There's a huge blockchain and it's super interesting. I'm wondering, like, his publicist apparently. I just got this recently. His publicist apparently. Sorry, my mic fell. His publicist apparently had to erase her whole social media presence. She did that actually a few months, so that would tell me that Diddy was at least aware that he was being investigated. So her the former social media, not social media, his fucking manager quit. I forgot her name. Honestly, I don't think her name's that important. I actually don't think that her name deserves to be said. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes a lot of people commit crime because they want their name remembered. So I don't know if it's worth naming. You could just call her P Diddy's publicist or whatever. So she's been under a lot of fire recently because of course she's gonna know all the ins and outs, the logistics and everything. Diddy even said that she was basically his right hand man and everything like that. So kind of complicates shit. And then his son was sued a few months ago for assault. Um, on a yacht by one of the workers. So that was another thing. There's also the lawsuit with Rodney Jones. I was listening to some content about the P Diddy stuff, and someone said that the lawsuit just feels like Rodney Jones is suing because P Diddy made him like do some gay shit, basically, and then she's like, and then the host. It wasn't the host. The guest was just like, yeah, I mean, I like that he's exposing all the stuff about P Diddy, but honestly, the lawsuit's basis is basically he made me want to be gay, like he's made me want like touch other guys, and that's why the lawsuit exists. And I was just like, I didn't even think about that. I was just like thinking of like just I guess maybe because the only people who were assaulting or grouping him were a bunch of men, and maybe he was being groomed to accept that. So either way, sexual orientation aside, that's all a lot of this is a lot of hooey. This is beyond dirty barnacles here. Yeah, I'm quoting Penguin Zero, Charlie. Because I actually use that in my daily life now. I say like that's a little dirty particle sometimes, especially when I'm around kids, because they can't swear. So I just like this is a little dirty particles. Anyways, um, so that's a quick update about that. I actually wanted to have a stronger conversation about Ashton Kutcher because I'm very disappointed with him because I actually thought he was a good guy. He had a good thing going for him. But I'll make that a whole separate video. That's all for another day. So we have the publicist, and then there's a bunch of celebrities that have been linked. And honestly, I just hope that there's true justice. Uh, this is one of the cases where, like, if P Diddy does go into trial, where I'm just like, you know what, I actually support racism for like this one specific scenario. Like I'm just like I don't normally condone it, but I'm just like for Diddy, I like he deserves the maximum punishment. You bring in the skinheads, bring in the white supremacists. The jury, select the first KKK member that you can think of, and just shove them in there, right? Have them of course, have Diddy get guilty and then arrest them too after, like arrest the jurors as well. Those people are pretty dangerous to be out as well. Honestly, it's a good ploy because then you can just catch everyone who just hates each other. What yo Diddy is like what he's done, like the whole the whole shit with the fuck me, my microphone, man. Yeah, and I just do a single take because I'm lazy. But like, but what P Diddy he's doing is literally living the incel dream or something, because like a lot of these people who are, don't touch grass, and they think of the world in terms of porn, they like their fantasies or their concept of the world is literally how P Diddy lived his exact life. And it just tells me that if Diddy wasn't wealthy or talented, he probably would just have been your average incel just off the street. You know what I mean? Uh, him being talented is the difference between him being, Diddy or fucking Elliot Rogers. And honestly, I don't know which one, because like it's the scope, right? Like of course, what Elliot Rogers did is horrendous and terrible, but it's the scope of things. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like it's pretty wild, and the more things that come out, the more and more jaded I get from the world. You think that you know someone, and shit. It complicates things too, because like just because you attended the party doesn't mean that you are guilty by association necessarily. I mean, you have people like LeBron talking about P Diddy's parties, not just Ashton Kutcher, Kevin Hart. A lot of people have commented on his parties before. I think 50 Cent just, I think he went to one and just fucking hated it. But I guess Diddy must have been also pretty specific with who got to participate in the freak offs. The freak offs. If you don't know what the freak off is, it's the basically this orgy, a days long orgy where he would supply saline after, like IV fluids, because they'd be so dehydrated and malnourished after the whole thing. And I'm just like, I can't think of, imagine being in the industry trying to make it live, and that's like your stepping stone. That's just depressing to hear. And I feel like I feel like Diddy's bisexual, right? Like this can't have been just a gay thing, because this guy wanted to watch uh women. Like I don't know. I just feel like this guy. Well, he's the ultimate cuck. Let's get that out of the way. But I feel like he was sus as hell. There's an audio clip released with Meek Mill, I think, and that was kind of weird. But I don't know, man. This whole shit's just it's pretty unbelievable, because you think about writers and their writing blocks, like they struggle to write stuff, and then you just hear this shit, and I'm just like, I've read and I've looked into some pretty dark shit, like some pretty dark anime, some pretty dark. None of them would even come close to this like real life fact. Like this whole shit, honestly, the death would have been a preferable option for some of these people. You know what I mean? Like fucking 1,000. Like it's wild, because like I've seen some of the craziest storylines, and I'm just like, you know what? In the end of the day, I'll let it pass, because like yeah, it's just a fantasy, it's just writing. But this is fucking real life, man. Fucking orgies every other day with his parties, human trafficking, forcing these women to have sex. I was like, I was like, did this guy live that rich guy, bad boy lifestyle that people like to think about? Because like even those guys, no matter how rich and famous and good looking they are, they're not hitting it like every night. They're gonna be tired too. Well, it doesn't sound like Diddy was tired at all. This guy, I don't know. He must have had the horniness of Genghis Khan, but then he had the mindset of fucking Elliot Rogers. I don't know. This is what happens when you mix two personalities that shouldn't be together. Uh, and then the fucking guy was talented though, like. But I also do think, I hope that now that he's gone, that hip hop can come in a new direction. I think hip hop for a while has been getting stale, and honestly, a lot of their music has been very degrading, and I like towards each other, towards people, and I just think that that's might be because of Bad Boy Records, because they're the ones who allowed the stuff to get released. You know what I mean? And I'm not blaming hip hop or anything like that, but I'm just like, I think it's time for hip hop to uplift their fan base instead of trying to pit everyone against each other, glorifying like the hood life and everything like that. I think it's time that you put each other up, prop each other up, and not in a comparative way, a toxic way where you put others down, but you bring everyone up in the hip hop community. Because I find that a pattern that I see way too often. Now, having said that, how much does the action influence you? I don't know, and that's not to say all hip hop's like that, but or whatever music he's dabbled into. But I think a lot of artists don't really like or believe the message that they're saying. They just have to do it because it's the industry, right? Give them that freedom because I think a lot of artists in the hip hop scene want to do more uplifting stuff. Want to do stuff that doesn't just involve sex and drugs and shoddy and broads and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like we need to we need to be better. We just need to be better as people, and I think that hopefully that this is the direction that we're going. We don't have that influence where you really get sucked into one side of like an image, and then that's basically like if you're not part of this image, then you're just not gonna make it in this world. You know what I mean? And it's always gonna be like that. You're always gonna have image, but then you hopefully you find niches in that industry where you're able to succeed, where you're able to find peace, where you can you know pat yourself in the back and say, you know what, I'm happy where I am. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Thank you for listening. Later days.